Lucky Route Zero. We are, I believe, ready for the final act now. Act 5. We've completed all our interludes, or at least most of them. Still having some trouble with that limits and demonstrations, like it won't cross itself out. We'll figure out what's going on with it. But in the meantime, I believe it's time to jump into Act 5. Let's see where we left our little traveling companions here. Good morning, welcome. So nice to see you in the chat there. I will procrastinate for another, let's say 15 seconds, just in case anyone else is jumping in the session here. Good morning. Oh, that's very kind of you to say. Happy to see me? I can't imagine. But I am happy to see you as well. It goes the other way. It's definitely a one-way street. I'm not so sure about the return. So nice to see you guys. All right. Let us take a deep breath and dive in. Here we go. Act 5. A town. Could be any old town, really. All right, we must be Shannon here. We are at least choosing for Shannon. It appears as though we're back on the surface now, and as suspected, because of all the rain and the storms we experienced both at the Museum of Dwellings and in the interlude Un Pueblo de Nada at the WEVP TV station, the overworld has flooded quite severely. Many buildings seem to be underwater. Some livestock appears not to have made it. All right. Give me just a minute, says Shannon. Clara, I'm afraid you carried more than your share. Shannon? Nah, I'm used to it. TVs are pretty heavy, too. Shannon, I, almost forgot about daylight. That's true. We're only down in the Echo River overnight, I guess, but it feels longer. It feels like lifetimes. Let's go, how are you holding up? I'm assuming she's speaking back to Clara. Oh, tired, but, the sun is shining. I think it rained. That's, such a funny thing to say under the circumstances. Yeah, let's go for it. I think it rained. Rained a lot, I mean. Oh, this is the first time Ezra has been back, on the overworld, I guess, since we met him at the museum. Interesting that he would immediately want to use a phone. Let's let him. May I use your phone, Miss Shannon? Oh, yeah, shit, the battery's dead. Who would you have called? I thought you might have some games on there. Ah, that's tempting. That's tempting, but I also really want him to try to call his eagle friend on a cell phone, just to see the flip phone response on Julian's side. I'm guessing. I was going to call Julian. He has a phone? Yeah, obviously. So where is this, where's 5 Dogwood Drive? Oh, right. No idea. Maybe we should split up? Okay. It is a nice morning for a walk, but a bit muddy. Oh, wow, I am the cat. I am not any of our little group. That's interesting. Oh, wow, is that Rita over there? Looks a lot like Rita. I'm glad she survived. If so, let's go check it out. Hey there. Greeting, meow. Oh, hi, kitty. Where did you come from, huh? Oh, I've accidentally hit something else. I'm sorry. 1 second, we'll get back to Rita. I don't know what I hit. I must be back in a cave now. Where, with a parrot, apparently? Okay, Jorge scanned the shelf. He quickly found the book he was looking for. Huh. I can select words inside. That's interesting. He quickly found the book he was looking for. There were only a few dozen left, more shelves than books now. The result of an experiment called the New Selection. Privately, he called it the Purge. What was the book he was looking for? A Crystal Age. Anonymous. A fairly recent publication. Jorge flipped through the pages for a minute. The binding was stiff. Let's try flipped. He hadn't read the book, but had discussed it with Isabel, the community architect. It was the story of a man who sleeps for thousands of years and awakens into a world without hunger or strife. Isabel had requested the book, part of a collection she was building called Ecological Mysticism, and now it was to be the latest victim of Frazier's reckless experiment. It appears to be my only option. Who is Frazier? Frazier proposed and executed experiments just like any other community member, but his experiments had a scorched earth quality. They were all destructive. He moved from one area of community life to the next in search of excess to cut back. Lately he turned his scythe to the library. The New Selection meant decimating their store of books, according to Frazier's own inscrutable criteria. Now we are guaranteed something vital every time we take a book from the shelves. No more time lost to printed chaff. Okay, Frazier. So what do you consider vital? Frazier's colorless voice echoed in Jorge's mind. He felt like spitting. Instead, he tucked the book under his arm and set off for the woods. Alright, so I have to be a little more careful where I'm clicking. Sorry about that interruption there. It's a bit of a weird control scheme, but we'll figure it out. So, back to Rita. Greeting meow. Oh, hi, kitty. Again. Where did you come from, huh? Did you follow a bird up here? These folks, the ones who built this thing, they chased birds, too. Intrigued meow. Oh, really? That's what they wrote. They followed some migrating birds up here from Central America. Somewhere up to Florida. And then here. Skeptical meow. I don't believe it. Well, that's what they wrote, anyway. I guess it might have been a metaphor. Very glad to know that Rita is, I'm assuming, alive. I really don't know what this place is yet. This could be some sort of afterlife, but I'm kind of assuming we went through our more supernatural experience down in the Echo River and that this is back. It's weird. I don't really know what's happened yet, even though we're deep into it, coming up on the end. My best guess is that there was this sort of flood event, this storm, that everyone needed to be prepared for. Certain people needed to be underground for it so that they could survive, otherwise they would have been washed away. And certain people needed other people, especially now back on the overworld, say to rebuild after this flood. And that all kind of happened. We all came together on this weird odyssey to arrive at this town on the morning after a storm that decimated it. Like, what are the chances of that? So we're here to help, I assume. Or can help. Though we're actually here for a completely separate reason. Okay, let's check this out. Maybe this is Flora and Ezra. Ezra. Options are, wow, how'd you get out of there? Or, they must have been pretty nice pigs if they let you ride them like that. Well, that's hard to pass up. They must have been pretty nice pigs. Oh, they were perfect gentlemen. I made myself as light as a feather and they didn't even know I was there. Then what happened? Well, then I found the Library of Television. And later I had to cross the desert of broken glass. My shoes were ruined almost immediately, but the desert was strangely beautiful. The desert was every different color all at once. I was overwhelmed. At first I could barely see anything, but then a bit of moonlight broke through the clouds. It was intoxicating. I was swept away by its beauty. Just remembering it now, I might start crying. No, I'm okay. Ezra can respond. I spent a lot of time looking at the moon tonight, too. Oh, that's kind of lovely. To pair them together as moon friends. Let's do it. Did I tell you I discovered the place where all the garbage goes? I was traveling with some strange companions for a while, too, but not as strange as yours. There was a strange woman, who I think was a witch. A white rabbit followed me for a while. He had a collar with a name tag like a cat or dog, but it was written in a language I'd never seen before. The rabbit only stuck around for a few hours. He must have had other things to do. He kept looking at his watch and saying, I'm late, for a very important date. I don't know what that was all about. I spent most of the night in the company of a bus driver. By far my most memorable companions were the Martians. Tell me more? They were silly and lazy, and I think a little drunk, but I found them charming in their own way, in the end. I had to lose them in a hedge maze. They were friendly, you see, but very demanding. Oh, wow. I got to ride in a big truck and a tugboat. I hung out with an old dog and some musicians. Then we both had quite an adventure. Wow, I'm jealous, but I won't let it ruin our friendship. We should stick together. Or, well, maybe I'll see you at the museum sometime. No, you should definitely stick together. As friends. As moon friends. Flora, I agree completely. Or, it's a nice idea, but you should stay with your friends. I think they still need your help. I agree completely. I think Flora and Ezra should do a little growing up together and have more adventures. And then later rule the world with Julian. This is my plan. But right now, just enjoy some sunshine, kids. You have a great day. Alright, I don't know how much of a scuba apparatus I'm going to have on this cat here, so a little worried about going further this way, but let's see how it goes. That's about it. That's about where he starts gasping for air. Alright, is this Ken? Ron. I'm sorry, I keep making that mistake. Ron. Everything about Ron is wild. Made an impression on me. Distressed meow. Ron to the cat. Well, what do you know anyway? Sorry. I'm just upset. Reassuring meow. Oh, you're right. Poor Ron. It's been a long night, hasn't it? All you wanted to do was hang out and watch some wild videos, and now, all the livestock is dead and your home is destroyed. Mary Ann. So not too sad. No, I think it should be happy. Oh, right. It's a remembrance. Oh, right. Like a monument, see? Oh, yeah, totally. So, they should be represented with dignity and respect, of course. Oh, of course, yes. But not to the point where it makes everyone feel they have to be, serious when they're standing under it. Does that make sense? No. Yeah, it definitely does. I think I have an idea. Oh, great. That's why I hired you. I'll just dig in. Thanks, Mary Ann. Happy to help. Right, so a memorial is being built. There's Emily, Ben, and Bob. Hello. Hello to our chorus. I don't see any clouds, says Emily. Hell, it'll probably rain anyhow. Just our luck. Assertive meow. I have arrived. Oh, really? Confident meow. He thinks it's going to rain again tomorrow. Nah, says Bob. I don't know, man, says Ben. Animals have a sense for the weather. Pardon me. All right. Hello, other cat. Alert meow. A croak reverberates inside the smoker. Excited meow. Smoked croakers. A frog slips out into the grass too quick to see. Our smoked croaker croaked? Smokily. All right. Probably shouldn't try to wedge the cat into the propane tank. We'll just move along. Probably shouldn't. Wanda snores softly. Dare I meow? I don't want to wake Wanda. We'll try to be real quiet. You hear me? You hear me, kitty? We're being real quiet. Oh, now that was sort of cheerful meow. Wanda sleeps peacefully. Undisturbed. Undisturbed by my cheer. Ah, that's a lovely little triangle roof and seemingly a ghost. A ghostly silhouette. Hey. All right. A little aircraft hangar. And a garbage truck with gray men. At first, they only observed the truck from a distance. It was an alien carcass, something that made more sense in death than in life. The company had dropped it off in the middle of the day when everyone was at the plant. They let it sit overnight, alone and strange. Nikki thought it was ridiculous, but Ron approved. To Elmo, the truck was simply beautiful. Oh, let's go, Nikki. The town didn't produce much garbage anyway. She said who would drive it? And where? Where? The only road in town was the old airstrip. Oh, so this is the town. We must have gone underground along the Echo River and come up in the town that has been mentioned a couple of times in past episodes. People have said there's a town with no roads to it. There are roads inside of it, and they specifically say there's a garbage man, there's mail, there's a school. So it's like a normal town, but there are no roads to it. And now that we're here, we see that the quote-unquote garbage man seems to be this strange alien gray folks that we don't know much about yet. All right. Everyone had to agree this was money and attention that would have been better spent addressing the town's drainage problems. Maybe finally get started on that damned messianic ditch. Still, they had a few things to dispose of. Broken flower pots, empty glass bottles, clothes that didn't fit anymore. They gradually fell into the habit of collecting waste and carrying it to the truck. Once a month, some shadows would come in from the night woods and haul the garbage away on a cart. So are these just shadows? And they've disappeared. All right. Clyde is saying, oh yes, she just got banged up a little in the storm after Ezra said, will she still fly? I'll have her up and running again by this afternoon, I'm sure. Can I fly it? Well, how's your upper body strength? Interesting question. It's good. Really good. Oh, this old girl is operated by pulleys. I mean 100% mechanical. Well, except for the throttle. Mm-hmm. I could do that, yeah. I believe you, Ezra. Go for it. I admire your confidence, young man. Yep, just a little bent metal. I'll have her skyworthy again in a matter of hours. Wow. I've been doing this a long time, kiddo. All right. More shadows. We have a crow and a destroyed house. With a projector, is it? Is this the station, actually? I wonder. This might actually be the WEVP-TV station building, because, like, that's the... one of the exhibits there, whatever that little board is with the papers on it, was definitely something we were seeing in that room, and I recognized this projector. There's the WEVP-TV background behind the shadows there. Elmo gave Rita a tour of the cameras and wiring. She had just been through a certificate program on public broadcasting at the community college, so no surprises there. Nikki showed her the video databank. James demonstrated the sound and image processor, and then Ron came barreling in with an urgent expression. I wonder if it was wild. So what is a sound and image processor? The image processor was a beautiful machine. James had inherited its care from from another artist, reverse engineering it for maintenance with the help of a dusty photocopied tome labeled The Distribution Religion. Rita learned just enough to make throbbing, hypnotic rainbows appear on the screen, which seemed to be the machine's favorite trick. She wondered what they used it for in practice. Ron's news was clearly bad news. Rita's heart sank a little as they listened. She knew that things were unraveling, knew from experience what that looked like. Wouldn't it be nice to arrive at the beginning of something for once? But as she listened to Ron detail the power company's sudden withdrawal from town affairs, she heard other possibilities. She studied their faces and found concern, for sure, but also something like relief, hope, and awakening of play. Nikki looked like she might have been daydreaming. These were people, Rita decided, ready to step out of the company's shadow and build something of their own. Ron said the TV station would still be funded by court order. Could that be their anchor? I got a little cat nap in on the projector. That was lovely. Stretch. All right. Hey, Slow-Mo Crow. I'm so glad you made it. I was worried about our friend. Our little babe. Greeting, meow. Eager chittering. Affirmative. An agreeable caw. We have come to an arrangement. Friendly meow. Coo. All right. Now let's see how long this goes. Negative meow. Now we're really getting into the meat of the matter. Chittering dismissively. Come on now. Come on. Inquisitive meow. Confused coo. No. You're getting this all wrong. Doubtful meow. Soft chitters. It's okay. It's hard to understand one another. No harm. No foul. I'm sorry. Curious meow. Inquisitive caw. This is my favorite conversation so far. Confident meow. Curt chitters. It's getting a little tense now. I'm sorry I insulted your forebears. 10 generations thence. I shouldn't have done that. So nice to speak with our friend Slow-Mo Crow. Okay, so there are a lot of shadows out there, one of them digging something, and there is what appears to be the framework of a house, undisturbed by the flooding. That looks newer, like brand new as of this morning. Seems to be a whole bunch of mail just off on the side of the road here. More shadows coming down from these painted houses. It's lovely up there. And quite sinister. There's Ezra again. Talking to Nikki now. Let's catch up with them. Ezra, what kind of fish are those? Nikki, to herself. They were beautiful animals. No, I should say, what kind of fish are those? Nikki, to Ezra. Oh, they're goldfish. They eat algae and mosquito eggs. Very helpful. Should I say they were free? Oh, that sounds like a good job. I'm surprised they survived the storm, actually. It was pretty bad. As you can see, devastating, I should say. Some weren't so lucky, and now I'm writing this poem. I'd like it to be hopeful somehow, but it just keeps coming out sad. This is so interesting, the theme of this game, especially with this being the final chapter, seems to be like people in this situation trying to decide how to end it. Or it has ended, but what does it mean? And that is so interesting. They're talking about the town and the flooding and all that, but it's also about the game. And that you want to end it, and you want to end it seriously and well, but you don't want it to be sad. You want it to be a happy ending, but how can it be a happy ending when you're surprised they survived the storm? It's a very interesting thread they're pulling on here. Okay, I'd like to be hopeful. You should come by this evening and hear it for yourself. I would love to, yes please. Save me a seat. Save me 2 seats. I forgot the kitty. Alright, I'm going to run back this way and check out this weird frame first. I don't want to skip ahead, but I don't want to skip ahead, so here we go. Hello, shadows. Six or 7 men stood in the sun about a dozen yards from the ditch, and he could hear them laughing. He tried not to hear them. Instead, he listened to the shovel punching through the dirt as he shaped the trench. It was wet dirt, mud, really. It made a hungry sound as he shaped the trench walls. Let's go trench. Glare from the noon sun made his sinuses tingle. The trench was a foot wide now. By the time he was done, he expected it to be about twice that, and run most of the way from the middle of town over to where it could drain off into the creek. The out-of-towner stuck his shovel into the dirt and squeezed the bridge of his nose. He sneezed and took a swig from his thermos. That is very interesting. The out-of-towner has been mentioned once or twice throughout this experience as someone who came into the town and was murdered, or there was an accident. Something bad happened to the out-of-towner. I guess we're maybe going to have the opportunity to find out. All right. The laughter quieted into greedy chuckles, and he could feel the men approaching. So he came into town to try to dig a ditch to, save them from this? And a bunch of men from town gathered around, laughing and pointing at him, and threatened him? Maybe? Because he was trying to save them all with foresight? This is so strange compared to the other buildings. This one looks very out of place. And unfinished. There's Junebug and Johnny. I've missed them. Let's check in. Junebug and Johnny strained to hear the noises coming from the well. And there's that weird, sleepy singing again. It's like 2 people talking, but not to each other. Talking to themselves, maybe? They're each alone? Maybe they're on the phone? Johnny shades his eyes with his hand. You think the truck's okay down there? Oh, sure. I doubt any thief could get it started. It's lost, but they don't seem to mind. I don't know who she's talking about, but they don't seem to mind. Maybe she's talking about the 2 people who are talking to each other? I'm not sure. Let's say sure, I doubt any thief could get it started. Meow. I said meow. All right. So Ron is still checking out the livestock there. Let's go up here to this church real quick. I haven't seen any interactions yet. And it continues to this day. All right, nothing at the church. In this cycle, we'll keep going around. It looks like time is sort of passing when I make circles around town. Hello again. A lizard darts out from beneath a rock. Whoa! That lizard, am I right? No sign of the lizard now. There's a lot of birds and seemingly a bell on a bell tower up there. I don't know how you would get to it. Oh, there is a rope dangling. You probably don't need to get to it. Oh, I hope I didn't miss an interaction like I saw Ron standing by this cow down here, and then I went away and back, and now he's in a different spot. Hopefully I'm not missing too much. Just trying to clean up. Doing a little repainting now. That's lovely. There's a graveyard back here. I missed talking to Rita or someone up at it. There's a shadow in a tree. Huh. The Seer reclined high in a tree, carving fine details into a small wooden pipe. She loved this spot, the height, the distance. She was always at a distance, watching everyone work. From this height, she could see the earth movers shaping the mounds under the draftsman's supervision. She could see him inspecting his plan, the drawing he'd made from her game, the map. That is interesting. We were saying during the last session that it almost seems like the whole thing is being manipulated by someone, and a seer would certainly be a strong candidate for that. I have my suspicions as to the identity of the seer, but we'll wait. What is this? Some of these nice geodesic domes. I'll take it. Paints and chalk in the small bag. Diary in the large bag. Stuffed dog in the small bag. Photograph of Chris in the large bag. No, in the small bag? Sandra couldn't decide. Should she keep the photo of her husband, or should she keep the photo of his father? Or should Alex keep the photo of his father, rather? Diary? I reject your choice entirely. She wrapped the diary in a towel before stuffing it into her bag, feeling slightly silly doing it. Fraser had been on a tear collecting all written material as community property lately. She set everything down, closed her eyes, massaged her temples, and wondered, not for the first time, how Fraser had consolidated so much invisible power so quickly. How had he done it? Had he in fact done anything at all to claim this incredible lattice of influence, or had they simply blindly given it to him? A slithering sound from somewhere in the grass. Cautious meow. And silence. I mean... No more silence, that's enough. Haven't seen anything to inspect up here yet, but I'm assuming eventually someone will be standing up there. Aha! Some folks are gathered in the, frame. Here's another cat interaction. One moment. A family of small mice huddle beneath the debris. Glad you made it, small mice. Predatory meow. Maybe not for long. The mice retreat into the shadows. Sorry, mice. I forgot I was a cat for a second there. That was my bad. Alright, so everyone's gathered at the frame. Let's go check it out before I miss my opportunity. Huh. So this is what we've been looking for. Well, the mailbox says 5 Dogwood Drive. Do you hear music? Is there any mail in there? Is Ezra's option. Clara can also say, is there a doormat? Sometimes a key is under a doormat. Wait, what am I saying? Is there any mail in there? Like if someone wrote them a letter, maybe their name is on it. Just don't open any that say final notice. Those are a secret. Oh, Ezra. Oh, I'm so sorry, Ezra. All right. It showed up, the house. Emily, that's nice. She was already here, so she can tell us what happened. Oh, is this your place? It's weird time for a new construction, but what do I know? This house is new? No, it isn't our place. You don't know who lives here? I haven't seen anyone. So yeah, just as it appears, it sprung up overnight, after the flood, as though it was expecting us. It feels warmer in here somehow, right? Nobody lives here? Well, somebody ordered some furniture. If someone does live here, they keep it pretty tidy. It really does feel warmer in here somehow, though, right? No, it's actually quite spacious. Yeah, bigger than it looks. Yeah, nice. Real nice. I could see myself in a place like this. The light in here is pretty great, actually. Yeah, good space to read a book. I could set up a new workshop here. Choice. What would you read? There's so much room, though. We could set up a whole studio. But what would you read? Oh, science fiction? I like to read anything at all about the planet Mars. Anything at all. There's so much history here, too. Maybe some books from the old town library could be salvaged. Let's say science fiction, though. I could set up a new workshop here. It's interesting that you can have her be hesitant, too. She just wants to move on. I like the idea of this being a new home for us, it being the final episode, but I don't know if it's some sort of deadly trap yet. And I hoping we find out. But I'm gonna say I could set up a new workshop here. We'll be hopeful. I could fix TVs again. or whatever people need. Hell, I could fix toasters. Maybe work on that big video synthesizer thing. Fix that up. Yeah, one could really fit a lot of books in here. I'd love to perform in a place like this at sunset. There's so much stuff just spread all over the place from the storm. I kind of feel like I'm on stage right now, actually. You know what I mean, ma'am? I keep tripping over my tongue. My apologies. Grab a sip of water. We'll see if that helps. It's made it worse. Oh no. Okay, there's so much stuff spread all over the place. Oh, we'll get that all cleared out in no time. Wow. These are two shockingly poignant options that I have run right into a wall here. It feels like it's time to move forward. Shockingly poignant. But we need to make sure and preserve some of this stuff before the next big storm. That's sort of a huge philosophical decision you need to make within yourself. Are you the sort of person who, when tragedy strikes, are more excited about the opportunity to move forward? Or are you the sort of person who saving and preserving past elements is more important to you? It's an interesting question that I don't know quite how to answer even for myself. So I'm going to say it feels like it's time to move forward. Do you think more people will come? After these people leave? Hey, we could put on a play for all the animals. Yes, we certainly could, Ezra. At least there'll always be bugs. That's what I like about bugs. I'd like to see that play for animals. We saved what we could. Seems to be the theme of my decisions during that sequence. All right. Ezra, hey, cat, I'll race you from here to that pile of mail, okay? Meow. Huh? Oh, Ezra, smoked off the line. That's one victory for Kitty Cat. But I've come to believe he was just messing with me. He was just pulling my paw. Emily, what's this? Curious meow. Oh man, it's totally broken. Inquisitive meow. Waterlogged tapes. They might still play. Who knows? But all the VCRs are shot. Who shot all the VCRs? This is not the time. Sad meow. Mourning the VCRs. I don't even know where to put all this. I hate to call it trash. I wonder if that garbage truck still works. All right. Oh, he's starting back over again. Let me see if maybe I just went too quickly. Affirmative meow. I had to affirm his race. Okay. Come stand here. This is the starting line. Ready. Get set. Go. Ooh. You beat me. You beat me, you human, with your long stems. It's no shame to lose. I'm a fast runner. You certainly are, Ezra. You have my congratulations. If I could applaud, I would. But it's beneath me, so... As a cat, it's beneath me. Something in the bushes stirs. It appears to be television actor Gary Coleman. Huh. Well, that's weird. Didn't expect him to have a cameo in this. Rita tore up weeds. Elmo stood next to her with a bucket. She passed him the uprooted weeds, and he stuffed them in the bucket. They worked this way for a few hours. Dark clouds drifted slowly closer, but wouldn't arrive until evening. It's weird, it's like those are two shadow people they're talking about. But we know Rita and Elmo. We just spoke to Rita above ground a little while ago. So why is she now being represented as a shadow person? Is this... These sequences seem to be like echoes of the past? Before the flood, when this Fraser guy was removing books from the library? And so it's like, are they not ghosts? Are they just out of sync with themselves? And actions from the past are still happening in, like, the concurrent timeline? Concurrently with our timeline? Or can only the cat see these things? Is it just the cat that's seeing these echoes and everyone else is moving on? I'm not quite sure yet, or it could be multiple things. Alright, let's try weeds. Rita and Elmo left to get some tea. The bucket of weeds sat warming in the sun. The dandelions wilted and the clover dried. Some wayward insects continued to eat. When Rita and Elmo returned, they assumed the same roles and continued working. The garden was coming along as well as they could hope, given months of neglect. When the plant shut down, the company abruptly pulled out of the area and took a large part of the town's population with it. This included the Carver family, who attended this garden, the largest and most productive in town for years. Oh, let's go neglect. Rita and Elmo worked until it started to rain. The rain washed their sweat into the dirt. Nicky, until finally it just gave way. But you did good work. It's not your fault. They didn't let you finish, that's all. If they let you finish... Oh, forget about it. This place would be dry as a bone. You always did good work. Is she talking about the out-of-towner who was trying to dig a ditch? Is he buried there beneath the wheelbarrow? Is he in the wheelbarrow? Are there legs sticking out? I'm gonna need you to move just to the left there, Nicky. Inquisitive meow. It's a memorial. So he may not be buried there, but that's the idea of where he's buried. The out-of-towner who could have saved them all. Had tragedy not befallen him. Some of these are really old. Junebug and Ezra by the mail pile. Hey, maybe we should open them? Scolding meow. That's a federal crime under subsection 317. Haha, he says not to open other people's mail, kid. I know what he said. Ezra can speak to many animals, Junebug. There's no need to patronize. But if they're not even here to open it themselves, then, you got a point there, kid. I won't tell a soul. You can always count on Aunt Junebug to let you get away with it. Good old Aunt Junebug. Oh, let's follow Shannon here. Shannon. Greeting meow. Oh, hi, kitty. That's me. Yes, it is a beautiful day. I guess the weather was pretty bad last night, though. Confident meow. Oh, you're a chatty one, aren't you? Fanciful meow. I am chatty, yes. Sure, whatever you say. Curt meow. You didn't appreciate my fancifulness. All right, well, take it easy. These ghostly figures wandering through town are simultaneously a little off-putting and soothing in a strange way. Like, yeah, obviously. That makes perfect sense that they would be there, and I feel correct about it. Johnny and Nicky? Yeah, I'd be worried about that too. Well, and it isn't just the rodents. I mean, the floors are mostly rotted, I think. You'd fall right through. I'm surprised they're still standing after last night. All the buildings? Oh, no. Most of them have good bones. It's just the ones the power company built that are rotten. Well, no surprise there. Most things related to the power company are rotten. Yeah, the power company moved in here a while back and set it up like their own little town. For the workers. But they didn't build them too good, huh? Oh, it's garbage. They couldn't be bothered. I lived in that one over there, in fact, when I first came to work at the power plant. Oh, yeah? I wouldn't set foot in there now, though. Someone's just catching some Z's out here, I guess. I'm tired. Clyde lay on his back on the runway. Ah, so this is the airstrip. Clyde lay on his back on the runway, hands folded behind his head, halfway between dreams and the afternoon sun. He entertained the momentary delusion that he'd survived a plane crash and was vaguely unhappy when the dream faded. Coming into land, he'd slammed into a truck. The driver probably thought the runway was another road. Huh. The roads were full of trucks coming and going these days, filling the town with strangers ever since... But he couldn't remember any more of the dream. It was fading quickly and irretrievably in that uniquely frustrating death of past dreams. All the state said they wanted was to knock down some trees, many trees, and build a road tying this small town to the larger web of streets and highways that entombed the rest of the country. But Clyde and his inner circle of stunt pilots turned mail carriers knew that a road would be the end of their secluded paradise. You out here sailing boats again? Choppy seas today, Captain. Aye, aye. Aye, Captain, let's reinforce the sails. Ezra turned a little Davy Jones there for a second. Frankly, I thought it was cool. I was impressed by it. All right, you're just watching the boat. Don't mean to bother you. This path sure is strange. There's like a maze in the ground here. she watched him. Okay. She stood in her own shadow. A few deer hunters and talkers walked past, but said nothing to the seer. Didn't even look. She studied the path. This was the path the seer had found in her scrying game, a series of private dice rolls and inscrutable diagrams. The community trusted this game. It had led them to fish-filled streams, intimate knowledge of the elements and the stars, even here to the C-Note settlement. They trusted it without understanding it, and now the game had revealed to the seer this vital route which would lead them to safety before the next floods came. At the end of the route, she'd seen a safe, quiet place. Caverns of leathery black birds, a lake of eyeless fish, a towering flame. Now the diver walked the mounds, memorizing the route. He was almost ready. So it's weird, it like goes all the way around here. Just following the line here. Sorry for the rapid revolutions. And then it goes out here. And then it winds back on itself to the end. What a nice little shape. I wonder what it means. Huh. Oh. I just got an achievement called Walk the Seer's Earthwork Path. That is interesting. So following that shape got me 90 achievement points. All right. Thank you. Hey, Ron. I'm sorry about your friends. Were these your horses, or are these the neighbors? I shudder to think. All right. Clara, Maya, and Shannon. Clara, and now you'll return to Chicago? Maya, just taking one last look. Shannon, you said you were sketching, researching? There's not much left to look at, is there? Yeah, I just came down to see this ancient earthwork. I make stuff like this, kind of. It's beautiful, right? This big mound. Why did they build this huge, dirt spiral? Well, most of these ancient earthworks are thought to be burial mounds, but this one definitely isn't. To be honest, I don't know what it was for. It's just art. It's all just art. Let's say I don't know what it was for. Again, sort of a commentary on the game. Oh, it could just be art. Doesn't all have to have a purpose. Oh, there you are. I think this other cat was looking for you. Hey, will you be a family now? Or, it's funny how you stick together and you still act like you're alone. That's the cat way, huh? Always alone together. Oh, Miss Shannon's like that, I think. And just like that old man we were traveling with. He can't help it, though. I think he forgot how to do anything else. It seemed like it made him unhappy, but like he thought he deserved it, I guess. That's such a sad observation for Ezra to make. Just gonna take a moment and pout about Ezra making that observation. All right, moving on. Hey, Junebug. It's a nice little setup you've got, Clyde. Ah, it ain't like it used to be around here, I tell you that. Well, it never is. But what changed? Well, the runway's got some cracks in it, for one. Cass is gone. Oh, that's a big change. Hey, tell me about Cass. Oh, what can I tell you? She loved her nephew and nieces, the brothers, who started our little community of pilots. She was a smart lady. No, she was a wise lady. Knowing her, I came to see the difference. She had a sense of things to come. I don't know if it was clairvoyance or just good eyes. We relied on her cards for every major decision. There was one thing Cass always insisted on about this place. No roads leading in or out. Hell, we can always fly. To tell you the truth, I've long suspected the reason Cass never wanted any roads here was just to keep the horses safe. And now... this is presented in such a lovely and unique way. I've never played anything quite like this. Mary Ann clears her throat. I will help. Inquisitive meow. Mary Ann. Oh, well, hello. Mary Ann nudges Wanda gently. Mary Ann softly singing, Wanda, it's time to wake up. Curious meow. Nope, dead to the world. Probing meow. I'll just try again later, I guess. Oh, hello there in the chat. So sorry, I'm late to welcome you. So nice to see you all. I've been distracted with my probing meows. I hope your Sunday is going well. Out there in your respective locations. All right, Mary Ann is back to painting, and Shannon is peeking over her shoulder. I saw the design on a barn somewhere. Or, would you believe it came to me in a dream? Yeah, I'd believe that. One of those dreams where you're lost somewhere, kind of familiar and anonymous, like a bus terminal. Everyone else knows where to go, but you're really confused. You're holding some instructions or a map or something, but you can't read it. And you look up, and there it is. Sorry, I don't know why I told you that. It's nice. What's it for? Oh, they're going to put this up on the old barn as part of the ceremony. I'm honored, to tell you the truth. Maybe it'll be kind of like a marker. I've never painted a grave marker before. Ezra and Slow-Mo Crow. A good grouping. Now, there's really never been a road to this place. Why not? Gentle cooing. An anxious scraping noise. Let's do gentle cooing. Let's give him the answer as gently as possible. Oh, yeah, that's what I figured. But how did they manage that? An indignant caw or a few chitters? Let's explain. A few chitters. Oh, okay, that makes sense to me. But why? A detailed series of chitters. Let me lay it out for you, Ezra. See, it all began when I was born, very close to my mother. I guess we could, but it sounds like a lot of work. Yeah, okay, well, you stick around to help. One confident caw, or a few chitters trailing off. No, it's definitely one confident caw. Of course I'll stick around to help. Unless that one confident caw is no. Oh, you're right. I'll think about it. Okay, I guess we better get started. Yeah, let's do that. I don't know what their plan is exactly, but anything involving Ezra and Slow-Mo Crow has to be a good idea. Let's get started. Who is this? Clara. I didn't recognize you from behind, I'm sorry. This headstone has no name on it. Who's this here? All I can read is better days. Better days ahead? They put their better days to rest here? Strange. I wonder whose better days we're talking about anyway. And Uncle Andreas, is he looking ahead or behind him now? All right, Ron is still quietly reflecting, near the reflecting flood. Let's go on down to the reflecting flood and get some quiet time in. It appears to be Rita and Ezra. Look at this place, the library. Ah, what a mess. Do you know how long you have to be asleep before you can start dreaming? What an interesting question. A couple hours? But sometimes I think I'm dreaming even when I'm awake. Oh, entirely possible. Even if you never go to sleep, you'll start dreaming on your feet. Maybe we should test that in the lab someday. The people who built this library were always experimenting. They took nothing for granted, even sleep. We used to pull some pretty long hours at the TV station, really pushing our limits. Sometimes it bled into the work. They called themselves the people of nothing, fearless experimenters. They were a scientific community. Everything is an experiment. For me, every day is very different. Do I live experimentally? Whenever I make a decision, I never know what's going to happen next. Is that an experiment? That's a really good question. Well, sure. Experimenting, you see, is just abandoning expectation. I guess you could also call that playing, right? Yeah, this is a special place. I feel a little guilty. You'd fit right in here, because you're a special boy, Ezra. Sure, it's a mess right now, but there's some residual energy from those fearless experimenters that I don't think will ever dissipate. I could stay here. Yes, you could. Junebug and Johnny walk up. Oh, hi, hey, aren't you... Johnny to Ezra. What's good, little dude? Oh, hey, we were talking about the library, and about experiments, and about the people who built this. Rita to Ezra. Is this your family? Or, oh, are you in the band? Or, friends of yours? Seeing this question in the chat, would I be interested in a cute little platformer with some somewhat unexpected stuff in it? I'd like to see you play through it sometime. Yes, it's called Eversion. I recommend not looking up the screenshots or anything on Steam, but I'm thinking about gifting it to you. That would be very kind, and I would happily play it, blindfolded or not. Absolutely. Thank you for the offer. That's incredibly kind. All right, let's say, oh, are you in the band? What do you think, kid? We've got room for a drummer. Oh, no, this is sad. I've been going around saying yes to everyone and didn't think this through. I had told Junebug and Johnny that I would be their third in the band. And that's a hard life to pass up. It's also a hard life, but it's a hard life to pass up. But now in town, there's projects, there's experiments, there's flora to make boats with. There's all number of things for a young person in a world full of both tragedy and intense beauty. I'm not not capable of making decisions for a child's welfare and future. That's where they've gone wrong here. They've put me behind the wheel, and I cannot say no to Junebug and Johnny is the problem. I've been with them longer, as much as the town holds a future. For Ezra, I'm going to say, what do you think, kid? We've got room for a drummer. Oh, I'm great at drums. I know where all the buttons are. We'll see what that does. Once again, I'm not capable of making future decisions for a child, but here we go. Give me just 1 second. I'll grab another sip of water here. I'll be right back. All right. Freshly lubricated. That's very important. Ah, I see that now. Due to regional price differences, I cannot gift it to you because Steam is being weird, but I can provide you with the price of the game. That's very kind. I can chase it down myself here, too. I'd love to look it up. So no problem either way. Thank you for attempting it, though. All right. Ron dug a grave. On to the next section, I guess. Rita, hey, this book is in pretty good shape. The City of Ladies. Interesting. Curious Meow. No, I've never read it either. Inquisitive Meow. Oh, good question. Let's take a look. Here we go. Minerva, Seer, Sappho. And some ladies from the Bible. Nosy Meow. Which ladies from the Bible? I think they all get together and build a city. That sounds nice. I'll get us a bus ticket, eh? A city of ladies and cats. Sure. Sounds like a neat place. Get the tickets. We'll be waiting. Johnny and Elmo. And ever since then, I've just been treating it like a little cafe for the town. But before that, it was the company store. Oh, sure. I worked in a mine for a bit. Johnny worked in the mine? Well, that's interesting. I thought he was a little too young for that, but I guess he might be a robot, so how would I know? All right. What kind of stuff did they stock? Never enough of what you wanted. Eventually, we had to start a garden. I remember they sold these little paper flowers. Oh, that's helpful. Oh, yeah, I saw that. I wonder if we could get it started again. But some things you just can't grow, like paper flowers, for example. If you want, and you promise to keep it secret, I'll pass on my waffle recipe before I head out. Or I will take my waffle recipe to the grave. I'm glad they give you that option, but I'll be generous. No, Johnny needs waffles to grow up big and strong, into a big, strong robot. Oh, well, why so secretive? But that's really okay. I don't really eat. More hints? Let's do why so secretive. Oh, the mystery adds to the flavor, see? Or, I just can't bear the thought of any son of a bitch from that power company eating one of my waffles, which has a sort of finality to it that I will take with me to my grave. This is my favorite response of anything ever. I just can't bear the thought of any son of a bitch from that power company eating one of my waffles. Is somehow the most empowering statement I've ever uttered. All right. Elmo, I once led a demonstration march right down this main strip here, back in the bad old days. Back before the power company pulled out. I was in fear of my life half the time. Well, I know I'm not sticking around. You think you'll do anything with this place? I think we ought to just set it on fire. Hey, people gotta eat, right? Well, some people. Well, think of something. What are the acoustics like? I'm just now noticing it's called Coffee and Tunes. It's such a cute name. Coffee and Tunes. Soon they'll be able to call it Coffee and Junes. All right, what's this? Waffles for any weather. I'm seeing that other sign. That's great. All right, 3A. Lay paper flat. 3B. Bring bottom left corner up to top right corner. 3C. Crease with firm, steady pressure along the diagonal fold. We're making origami. Nikki applied only gentle pressure. Looser flowers felt more alive. She rolled her wrists. It was the 6th hour of her assigned company store shift, and she'd made dozens of flowers. Ron had bought a bouquet and cleaned out their stock that afternoon. Number 11. Repeat steps 4A through 7 for each petal, taking care not to rip the filaments from step 9. She put Ron's bouquet down in the sales ledger as romantic bouquet, but really he was just buying in bulk at a small discount. Since the company started allowing resident workers to donate paper flowers to Aunt Connie for civic enthusiasm points exchangeable for sick days, they had become kind of a shadow currency for local trade. A commotion outside caught Nikki's attention. Men yelling, blows landing. She put down her work and stepped out just in time to see the crowd disperse. And what happened to the out-of-towner? ... And then what? Curious meow. Something brown scurries up the side of the tree. Surprised meow. A squirrel. Too fast to tell. Sitting in the middle of the runway, all right. Clyde and Cass sat cross-legged in the shade of a light aircraft. Cass shuffling cards, and Clyde absently flipping through a stack of unopened letters. Demand for aerial stunts having faded almost completely, and many of their company having died or aged out of the profession, Clyde and Cass found for their remaining pilots a steady flow of contract work delivering mail to remote rural areas. But this place was abandoned. Cass's cards predicted they'd be here for quite a while. I really like this knife. Junebug and Johnny. Yeah, it has an aura. Know what I mean? Yeah, an aura. Like it wasn't exactly used to cut apples, huh? It's meant for greater things. Yes, ma'am. That's slightly sinister. All right. Taking off? She's finally not sleeping on the bench. But then where is she? Hello, Marianne. Ah, damn, there he goes. Can we go in after him? In the bushes? Yeah. After the raccoon, you mean? In the bushes? Yeah. No. I don't... But, now hear me out. It's probably full of thorns, Johnny. I don't want to hear you out. Yeah, but... raccoon! We're just gonna let it get away? No, it's not happening, Johnny. Thorns. Okay. Okay. Oh, don't pout. I'll tell you what, if that raccoon comes back into town, we'll leave some food out for him. Hmm? Oh, yes, ma'am. I love that. It's just like, but raccoon! Okay, what are we gonna... We got raccoon! Oh, hold on one moment. Hey, don't run in the graveyard. Shannon to Ezra. Why not? It's disrespectful? Well, people are trying to rest, you see. All right, give me one moment here. I got a little pop-up window from my Steam client. And a little message that says, Peter, I didn't do any of this. It was all Vaughn. So when fingers start getting pointed, don't come thanking me. Don't you dare thank me. I'm just the middle person. Kablam, Captain Mary. That is very, very nice of you. Thank you so much for figuring that out. I will happily give this a look. Eversion. The princess of the Flower Kingdom has vanished. She was taken by the Goolibas? Is that it? Goolibas of the north. And it is up to brave Ziti to rescue her. On his quest, he and you will discover the hidden lands behind the peaceful kingdom and come face to face with secrets that will set you on edge. I will accept the gift, thank you. So sorry for the brief aside here. You guys are lovely. Thank you for your generosity, and thank you for thinking of me. It is being added to my library as we speak. As I speak? God, when is he going to shut up? All right. And we're back. Annoyed meow. Tramping on the graves. Agreed. Well, he's just a kid. It's fine. He can tramp on the graves. He's not that heavy. Those are some lovely horse images. Stunningly rendered. Marianne, you genius. Alright, here's Ron, as mentioned in the title, digging his grave. For the neighbors? Question mark? Oh, this weather makes you kind of wish it never stopped raining. Is 6 feet right? You know, that's the standard. Well, standard for people anyway, but now 6 feet's the rule for a person, and let's say the average person is 5'9". Yeah, maybe I ought to stick to the traditional depth just out of respect. Is that respect? To treat them like us, or is it more respectful to treat them like what they were? Just what are we burying here, anyway? I mean, is it them, or is it us? Or is it some mix of both? Well, I knew damn sure what I was pulling out of the water. I wonder what would have been company policy on hiring centaurs. Strong and smart, but probably Union. Yeah, probably Union. If those greedy sons of bitches had finished that drainage ditch when they were supposed to. They built so much here. They ought to be here still, cleaning up. I ought to hike through the woods and give them a piece of my mind. Well, I should put some of that bile into digging these holes. Everything about that was wild. All right. Coffee and tunes with Junebug and Johnny. May I? All right, man. Let's see what you've got. Ah, it's Elmo with Johnny. Now, this one looks like it might still play. Oh, Bill Monroe. Great. Yeah, we had a few of his. Man, this is a barnstormer. Popular? They used to be, but then the jukebox started to wear down. The longer it would run, the slower it would play. And then these weird echoes would start to come in. Like the music was leaking and just pooling up in the bottom somewhere until everything was drowning in it. After a few hours, no matter what you put in that jukebox, it'd come out strange, wrong. I don't know, that sounds pretty cool to me, man. It does sound pretty cool. Take some old bluegrass music and corrupt it to echoes until it comes out strange and wrong. I'd listen to that all day. Rita, I even lived in there for a bit. Shannon. Oh, no way. Yeah, too drafty. I moved out one winter and never looked back. It gets cold? Well, sure, when the sun is down. Nice old church, though. Really nice. Could make a nice workshop. Oh, there you go. The Church of Television Repair. Give me 1 second. All right. Dogwood Drive is filling up with our junk and instruments and rugs. The cat's card table, of course. I brought that from home. Emily. Yeah, I'll miss them for sure. Beautiful creatures and so thoughtful. Rita never got as many bands to come up here as she would have liked, I think, but it was always a always a blast, sure. Always a blast. Let's go first option. Beautiful creatures. I bet. Where do you think you'll go? Or, Emily, whoa, look at this. Let's see what that is. Emily pulls a videotape out of the rubble. Or, she pulls a piece of slate adorned with a partial circuit diagram out of the rubble. Or, she pulls a broken projector out of the rubble. Let's do the piece of slate. Hey, I've got one of those. It's This is part of James's schematic for the sand and image processor. Damn, this was valuable information. Emily pulls a videotape out of the rubble. Home movies? I don't know, the label's all muddy. It looks like... Oh, it's cave art. Cool. Who knows if it'll play, though. This is Rita's tape. I should get this to her. Maybe she can clean it up. Well, there's very little I can salvage here. It wouldn't mean anything anyway. It's kind of a package deal. Anyway, I think the ceremony is around dusk. Ceremony? Oh, right. The horses. Sorry, the neighbors? Yeah, we'll stick around. Nowhere to be. Ezra, where are you flying to? Flying? I'm just checking to see if everything's working okay. But you could fly her somewhere if you wanted to, though, right? Oh, of course. So, why don't you? Oh, here we go. Keep your distance now. End of the line. And now everyone's gone from here. There's Shannon. Curious meow. Oh, I don't know, just a bunch of old stuff. It's hard to imagine someone ordering this. Like, these things, specifically. Why these things? This folding rocking chair, it's nice, but it's so peculiar. I mean, someone really wanted this chair? Now we're setting it all up, trying to, like, reverse engineer this person that we never met. I kind of feel like we are that person, like we're making that person right now, together. Reassuring meow. Oh, you're doing your best. Yeah, thanks. That helps. Shockingly, that really helps. So I'm guessing she means the delivery, that the delivery Conway had in the truck this whole time is furniture and things to build a life out of, like someone's moving van that has just been passed on to a new group of people who, it turns out, it's moving day. Ezra. Wow. That seems to be working okay. Julian's gonna love this. Sorry, walked too far away there. Who? Excited meow. Julian, of course, Clyde. Yeah, it's amazing. All right, who's next? There's Ron out by the bell. Let's go check it out. Okay, I was standing right there, but you do whatever you have to do, Ron. That's fine. Got a quick peek up your Daisy Dukes as you passed over my head, but that's fine. That's understandable. Seems like everyone's gathering at the barn here. I just now realized that. I saw that chat comment. Peter is using a laser pointer to play with a virtual cat, and that is exactly what this little cursor looks like. Little dragonfly laser pointer. All right. Emily. Hey, y'all. Thanks for sticking around for this. I know we've all got places to, Well, if anybody still needs somewhere to go, be sure and speak up, okay? I think Ron's heading through the woods tonight, back to the road, if you want to caravan. You staying, Em? Yeah, sure, I'll stay. At least for a while. I just want to make sure everyone has somewhere to go. And I think we can build something here again. This place has good bones. For right now, though, we've got some friends to bury. The neighbors. Nikki has a poem, and well, I have a song. If anyone wants to say anything, though, well, I'll go first. The neighbors were kind. They were gentle, beautiful horses. I used to go on walks with the silver one out in the woods by, Why didn't anybody ever give them names? The silver one. I guess he was gray, but, his coat looks silver in the light, so I always called him that in my head. And the other one, is the other one. And I loved these horses. But you'd never know it if you heard me talk about them like that. So I'm sorry, Silver One and Other One. I'm sorry I don't have better names for you. You deserved better names. Also, I'm sorry I'm so bad at this. Anybody else have anything to say? That's an interesting statement from Rita. We didn't give them names because their names weren't ours to give. That would have been equally disrespectful. But let's see what Ron has to say. I'm sure it will be wild. I just want to say these horses, they used to crap on my floors. But it never bothered me too much, and I never mentioned it to anyone. I didn't want to make a thing out of it, but if we're here clear in the air, well, that happened, and it's okay. All right. I mean, recently, too. I was cleaning up horse crap just a couple days ago, but I am saying it was okay. It would have been okay if any of you wanted to crap on my floors. I just want to say that. I would have cleaned up after any of you if you crapped on my floor. Thanks, Ron. That's really surprisingly sweet. And no thank you. None of us will be taking you up on the offer, but it's very good to know if we ever have like a big emergency situation that you'll be there for us. Thank you. Elmo. I was thinking about when all those canned carrots showed up in the mail. You all remember that? Somebody was calling around with some canned carrots they wanted to be rid of, and I guess Consolidated Power got word of it. So these cans of carrots showed up in the mail, and we didn't know where they came from at first. I tried some out. No flavor to them. Some of them were gray. Just awful. Rita said that it's still okay to eat. Like, sometimes carrots just lose their color if they sit in a can too long, but really nobody wanted them. Well, Aunt Connie came on TV with a message like, I hope the horses are enjoying their treat. And we thought, oh, okay, so these are for the neighbors. Sure, horses love carrots, right? But the neighbors wouldn't touch them. I mean, they wouldn't even look at them. You'd think they were canned rocks. We opened a couple dozen and set them all out by the water trough, and They were still there a day later. Even the raccoons steered clear. They were too busy hiding in the bushes. And then, of course, Consolidated sent us an invoice for every can that we'd opened, already made out in company script. How do you like that? Okay, I guess we'd better move on. Nikki, are you ready? All right, Nikki, take it away. Nikki, thanks for sticking around. Like Emily said, it's so good to have you all here for this. The weather turned out okay, didn't it? Now, I know some people had to leave already. I don't judge anyone for that. I think the neighbors would have liked this. All of us gathered here. They liked to be around people. Maya, you and our other visitors might not know about the out-of-towner. He came here to work for the company, to dig a ditch. And the company worked him good and hard and for less than he was worth, but it wasn't enough. They had to use him up completely. After that, we became ungovernable. First out of shame, and then grief, and then anger. I wanted to write this poem because the neighbors led me through that time. This is a poem for the neighbors, but it's also for this town. Yeah, we're gonna bury this town today. When we bury these horses, it's the same thing. We're gonna bury these horses, and what do you think will happen next? We'll all walk out into the woods and leave this place empty. Now, I guess some of us might stay and build again. That's all right, it couldn't be me. But to try is your birthright. If you do stay, you'll be building on top of a grave. But that's true anywhere. The whole world is built on top of graves. Look for me under your boot soles, as the fella says. Nikki clears her throat and begins reading from the paper she's holding. Ooh, it's a choose-your-own poem. Hold on 1 second. Let me run to the restroom. I'll be right back with you. All right. I had to break that poetic tension with ample hand-washing there. It's the only way. So, first line of the poem. I think the grass will never grow again. Or we all leave town and call that town a ghost. Or, for we who stayed, in shame to penance pay. That's the one. For we who stayed, in shame to penance pay, and hoped to mercy find right where we sinned. Those hopes are withered, no mercy left. Who could forgive us now we've buried our merciful friends? Nikki closes her eyes for a moment before continuing. Or she directs her attention at Shannon, or her hands tremble a bit as she reads from the paper. I do believe her hands are trembling. Our neighbors were the best of us, of course. It's always so, our better selves clear of ourselves, where we can see their glory glow. They glow now underground, our friends, with love. To greener pastures we might say, but lie. So let me try instead to share your woe. Here where we lay our town and friends to rest. Some other cherished fools will build their home. Let's take that from the top there. To greener pastures, we might say, but lie. So let me try instead to share your woe. Here where we lay our town and friends to rest, some other cherished fools will build their home. And we buried the horses.
I've heard of a land of joy and peace and wonderful life. A beautiful place of mansions fair and skies so bright, where all who believe the Savior dear forever shall stay. And having been saved by grace divine, I'm going that way. I'm going that way. I'm going that way. Yes, dear, the Savior I adore is with me each day. I'm clinging to Him and never to stray. Just singing praises all day long. I'm going that way. Well, glorious news I tell and sing as onward I go. For those who are still astray in sin, my Savior may know. I want them to sing that praise above some beautiful day. For glory to Him who died for me, I'm going that way. I know I shall meet Him at the gate when trials are past. I know I shall meet Him face to face in glory at last. Oh, I believe that when we meet, well done, He'll say, while trusting my soul redeemed in love, I'm going that way. I'm going that way. I'm going that way. Yes, dear, the Savior I adore is with me each day. I'm clinging to Him and never to stray. Just singing praises all day long. I'm going that way.
That was such a lovely sequence. You know, one by one, everyone's going their separate ways. Junebug and Johnny in their funeral garb. I wonder if they're going to Dogwood Drive. And if I should follow. What will become of Dogwood Drive? This looks like the circle somehow, with 5 members of our family, 5 acts. And who is that? Emily, Ben, and Bob, our chorus. You lovely folks, you. Curl up on the steps. Seems like the sort of thing you do when you're at home. So lovely. Look for me under your boot soles is the name of the achievement you get for completing Act 5. That was amazing. What a lovely ending. And to have it be kind of up to you and kind of up in the air as to how it all ends, who stays, who goes. You can make choices, you can lead people, you can manipulate them. Like a seer through a screen, trying to help them find their best ending, but when it comes right down to it, they're going to end up where they end up. Alright. There is something important to note is that this interlude here never unscratched. I was expecting it to, perhaps after we finished Act 5, so let's try something crazy. I hear tell that in Act 1... Let me see if I can restart. Actually, one second. Let me double check to make sure that will have the effect I think it does. I think it will be fine. There's really no other option. Let me try restarting. This should take us back to Equus Oils with Conway. And I believe we just have to get out onto the Kentucky road map and then come back to the gas station. That's what I failed to do during Act 1 last time. But let's try it now. We'll see if we can fix it. Pardon me. I'm getting the hiccups. So this is where our journey began. Back with Conway, delivering what we now know to be an entire life in his truck. I'll try to get through just this part to the highway map a little bit quicker. This was all covered in the first session we ever did, so no worries. Let's speak to the attendant. All right, Joseph. Damn, did you hear that wreck? Truck full of bottles. I don't know, beer bottles, whiskey. What a mess. All right, her name is Blue. Oh, she's a sweet old hound. Hey, here's some jerky for Blue. I've got a delivery to make on dogwood, but I'd rather watch the sunset. Yeah, it's the truth. You have got to stop and breathe in that road. I bet while you were out driving, you let your eyes wander up the tree line, and you just... Well, I bet you're more of a poet than old Joseph. All right, so where is Dogwood Drive? Oh, listen, you and Blue would have been driving up and down 65 all night. Dogwood Drive is on the other side of, to get there, you've got to take the 0. All right, head down into the basement, reset the circuit breaker. I'll be happy to have those whining lights back up. And he's given me a lamp. Lovely. So we're going to the basement. Should be able to do this in about 10 minutes, but thank you for your patience here. Talk to the basement people. Grab their glow-in-the-dark dice. The number 5 is facing up. I always forget that. Wonder if that relates to the number of acts, or what? Alright, here's your dice. Oh, where'd you go? I'm going to keep the 20-sided die. And turn on the breaker. Now let's see if he'll let me use his computer. Oh, there it is. Just listen to those lights whine. Well, I'd better get those directions and head to the 0. So, computer's in the office. You're looking for Marquez. The password is, damn, I usually just feel it out. It's kind of long. It's kind of like a short poem. One of those short poems that really sums it all up. Conway taps a key, waking the computer from its reverie. I am Joseph. Password? The stars drop away. The moon throbs. The lights whine. Hey, how's it going in there? You figure it out? Oh, yeah, you did. All right, address book. Marquez, 100 Macondo Lane. Northeast on 65, turn left when you see the ugly tree that's always on fire. Alright. So this is where it should get interesting. So sorry. Just had to get past that. This should take us to the road, and then what we want to do is come right back to the gas station. Equus Oils. Act 1, Scene 2. This is something we skipped, I believe. We did not get to see this part because I foolishly ran right to Macondo Lane. Now there is another gentleman here. Joseph and Stranger. A man with a large pair of antlers slung over his shoulder is speaking with Joseph. And that's only a few miles outside of Ogdenville, anyway. I don't think you could do much better for accessibility, and they got that new gas station if folks get lost. Carrington. But maybe they should feel lost, Joseph, just as lost, then, as we are always already lost, just like poor itinerant Silas, wandering the road looking for a home. Ah, well, that's a way to look at it, I guess. To Conway. Oh, hello. I heard that old truck rumble on up. How's Blue? Oh, say, maybe you can help this fellow. He's looking for a venue, is how you said it, right? Conway? Sure. I have an old friend who runs a bar, and they've got a real big stage. Or I know a furniture warehouse you could probably break into. Let's suggest the stage first. That'll be fine. Carrington. Oh, no. It can't be indoors. Impossible. But I'm obliged you'd stop a moment to help me work this through. Let me explain my charge. I have dedicated my last 12 years to the design and orchestration of my life's great work, a grand, broadly experimental theatrical adaptation of The Death of the Hired Man by Robert Frost. Oh, yeah, I've read some of his stuff. Yeah, he's pretty okay. Not one of my favorites, but Carrington here has a knack for drama. Well, drama is really my second love. My higher calling is pseudoscience. So when is the performance? Well, the event is to be performed tomorrow morning, just before dawn, but in the spirit of tragedy, our venue fell through at the last moment. I've been out all day driving the highways, looking for a replacement, eyes fastened to the landscape, gross, like a hawk scouring the field. So, like a hawk, in fact, that I failed to keep an eye on my gas meter, and I'm here waiting for the tow truck to bring my car so I can get back at the task. Well, what kind of venue are you looking for? I don't mind keeping an eye out for a spot. I mean, I'll be out driving anyway. Well, if you have attention to spare, I would be grateful. Somewhere outdoors, somewhere intimate, somewhere tragic. Okay. I'll keep an eye out. Let's get back on the road just to see if that makes a checkpoint, for lack of a better word. Then we'll try exiting here. I think we just had to speak to him. That's the only thing we missed right at the start of the game. Back to the circle. And now, the death of the hired man. Since you have met the playwright Carrington, the final interlude is now available. Here we go. Thank you for your patience here. This should be the final piece of the puzzle. Death of the hired man. Mexico? Oh, that's what she said. Oh, damn. Oh, she's been there before. It sounds so far away. She lived there for years. Why'd she come back? Ask her. Sometimes it's hard to get a straight answer. So I recall. Well, that old girl's trouble, anyhow. I'll tell her you said so. She'd wear it with pride. Oh, she would, wouldn't she? How's business? shitty. Thanks for asking. Oh, sure, you laugh. I'm sorry, Harry. You laugh, but where'll you go to sit and talk all day when they shut this place down, hmm? Oh, I appreciate the steaks. It'd be a different story if someone bought a drink with cash now and then. Well, sure, Harry, we've all got our troubles. Which reminds me. I don't know if it only continues if you're watching the channel or what. I'll pour 'em. Oh, no, it's not that. As I was leaving the bureau, I ran into someone else. Uh-huh. Your erstwhile janitor? Oh, I bet. What did he have to say? In fact, he suggested he might come by and clean your facilities. He what? I told him never to... Oh, now, Harry, be kind. I told him... Oh, here he is. Now? Carrington, quietly, be kind. I'm always kind. How does it look out there, Brandon? So this is the janitor from the storage facility that we met? It's pretty okay. Oh, sure. The sun is out. Imagine that. I mean, it's clear skies. Oh, clear skies today. Well, I'll get started. Listen, kid. Just go on back, my young friend. We'll check in on you shortly. Oh, it's just a couple of bathrooms. See, that attitude. Now go on back, Brandon. Okay, I'll start with the ladies' room. Fine. There's nobody, No, it's just us and the kids. Oh, hey, y'all, what are you watching? Static. Mostly static. A game show. I guess you get to choose. Nice. Oh, man, I'm no good at this one. What? You've been on this show? No, like, you know, following along at home. Well, see, Harry? A little bit of kindness, and you got your janitor back. When was I ever anything but kind to him? I let him sleep in the office whenever he misses his bus. But he's not dependable. Off he goes, always when I need him most. He thinks he ought to earn a little pay, perhaps. I can't afford to pay any fixed wages, though I wish I could. So, when someone else can pay, then someone else will have to. Oh, not so loud, he'll hear you. I want him to, he'll have to, eventually. Harry, I believe you were about to pour us a couple drinks. This damn bar is like a muddy black little pond where everyone who stops to drink falls in and drowns. Oh, now, Harry, who would drink from a muddy black pond? The thought of it, ugh. There's always someone thirsty enough. And what are you in this colorful metaphor? I'm just another set of bones at the bottom. I'll drink to that. Oh wait, you haven't poured me anything yet. Hell, so will I. They're falling in love. Eh? On TV there. On Mars. Those two Mars folks. Fallen in love. So how did it go, your play thing? My play thing? You said you put on a play, right? I staged an experimental theater production, yes. Oh, pardon me. If you must know, it was a disaster. I'm sorry to hear that. On the topic of my production, the less said, the better. Oh, fine. Change the subject. The tippy bird struggles with his continued alcoholism. Oh, it was doomed from the start, really. As I watched the sun rise that morning in front of Equus Oils... what's that? Oh, the gas station. You know, Joseph's place? Oh, how is old Joe? A lot like that turkey back there. He's angry and vocal. He's reflective these days, aren't we all? Wait, you did your play at a gas station? I staged an experimental theater. Yes, yes, at the gas station, and nobody came out, huh? I'll be damned. An uncommon venue, by design. Well, it's unique, I'll give you that. Even if an audience had materialized, there were other gaps in the production. Okay. The cast and crew, also absent. That put a bit of a hamper on it. Hampered affairs. Oh, damn. So I, alone, stood there at sunrise with no play and no audience to miss it. And you? What's been occupying your days and nights, my friend? Oh, not much. Sometimes I go down to the store and restock, but then it's straight back home. Home? You mean this place? I guess. It sounds pathetic, doesn't it? Oh, not at all. I know, you had it right at first. This bar is no home. Well, it all depends on what you mean by home. Talking to Brandon the other day, I got the sense that he sees this bar as a kind of home, too. He's like a dog that walked in off the street. And what do you do, Harry, when a dog walks in off the street? Well, you give him some water. The dog never did anything wrong. Home is the place where, when you have to go there, they have to take you in. What's that from? A poem. I bet. It sounds like a greeting card. It's meant to sound a little cynical, I believe. What's the poem called? The Death of the Hired Man by Robert Frost. Oh, of course. Only the poem which served as the basis for my doomed experimental stage production. I'm sure it's a great poem. The next line is, I should have called it something you somehow haven't to deserve. Huh. Does that mean anything to you? Well, is he a Christian man? Robert Frost or the turkey? I don't... Yes, I think Robert Frost was a Christian man with a healthy measure of doubt. Well, then it sounds to me like the grace of God. You get it when you're baptized. It's automatic. You don't have to do anything to earn it. You just try to be worthy of it. What do you think? I think I'm becoming very uncomfortable with this conversation. Harry, you know I only attend church for the acoustics. Well, then what's the line mean to you? Oh, I take it very literally. It's a moral claim. There is, for each of us, a place called home. The relationship is inalienable. It's our birthright. No one may keep us from this place. Says who, though? I mean, like who enforces it? Well, if God won't, then it's up to us. And I guess you think the same goes for that kid back there. Am I so transparent? So why is it up to us, though? I mean, doesn't his grandma work in a bank or something? Does she? I'm pretty sure I heard that, yeah. But, Harry, don't you think that if he could get help from family, well, sure, maybe they had a fight. He looked exhausted. Yeah, he did. Why don't you go check on him? Yeah, it's kind of quiet back there, huh? Not to scold him, Harry. Just see how he's doing. Yeah, all right. Carrington, turning to the TV. I'll sit and see how the turkey fares. I'll tell you if you miss anything. Worry not. Well, you've been glued to this program all day. What do you make of it? Emily. I just watch it for the music and the turkey sounds, of course. Ah, that's the stuff. Hey, I'm sorry your play was a bust. Live theater is always a risk. That's what makes it interesting. I agree. Oh, sure, you're a performer, you understand. I was in a movie recently. I hadn't heard. Yeah, a western. Well, kind of. A glitch western. Oh, you have my complete attention. Do go on. I was just thinking about your poem. Oh? Yeah, but I was thinking about it like as a riddle. Like, what's the place where when you have to go there, they have to take you in? You know, like a riddle. And the answer is home. No, it's a grave. Ah, our host returns, but so quickly. Well, did you and the young man have a heart-to-heart conversation? How is he? He's asleep, on the floor, with a roll of paper towels as a pillow. Ah. Try to remember, Harry. Oh, so sorry. Went dark for a second there. Oh, no, it's all right. Let him rest. Lovely. So that is the final little piece of this. And it certainly does feel as though we've been part of a live, experimental theater production, played out before our very eyes. And what a fascinating riddle to end it all with. What is the place where when you arrive there, they have to take you in? Home? Or a grave? All right, that is it. I'm still not sure why Limits and Demonstrations is unfinished. I believe we have everything we need there. So I don't know what that is. There's like an achievement hiding behind that, too. It's very interesting. You see the hands around the circle, and there's like fingerprints on what appears to be a screen here, like this is a static television screen. And the hands, I have to assume at this point, are Weaver's. Weaver Marquez. I believe that she is the Seer that they were mentioning, and that somehow she has been orchestrating this entire thing. She somehow saw the flood happen ahead of time and knew that these people would need to be there, not only to help rebuild the town, but to rebuild themselves. You know, they emotionally needed to be there for this. And so everyone ends up at Dogwood Drive, which is just a clean slate. And You can do anything you want. You can ignore the clean slate and you can go look for a new one. You can head back to what you've tried before if you're too uncomfortable. You can try something new. And that there's this Seer behind it all, just giving you kind of little nudges in the right direction, helping you meet the people you're supposed to. There's so many themes and symbols, and I'm sure I missed more than half of it. Like, we're gonna have to go through this game again at some point with what we know now. But to see the whole thing from start to finish and just to steep in it and experience it without trying to pick it apart has been a true pleasure. Thank you for coming along on the journey with me. I have to go off and record some more now that I am all toasty roasty in the vocal cords. Thank you for that. Thank you for your help. Hopefully you've had fun here. We'll be on to something a little more exciting, though probably not as introspective and deep and symbolic next time, which is both a pleasure and a shame. I'm looking forward to our next adventure together. Thank you very much for your time, and bye for now.